So what we require at this moment is the changed paradigm. We need to have principles in our mind, not self, not money, not something else. Those are all important as well. But the most important thing for us is to have this principle in our minds. So, as it is shown in the heading itself, if you say principle centered paradigm, so this paradigm is based on the principle itself. Then comes the next question, right? What are principles? They are actually the foundation, like how a building has a strong foundation for it to withstand the atmospheric effect, the weathers, unpleasant weather, storms and other things. These principles are the ones which are similar to laws of gravity. If you talk about human dimension, these universal laws are the same. So they transcend the location, the race, the gender, and lot of other limitations which are limiting ourselves. So if our paradigm, if our viewpoint is based on principles alone, then we are not going to make mistakes. So again, people sometimes may get confused between what are principles and what are values. Values are just like what we believe as important to us. They are just like maps, whereas principles are the actual territory. I can see the Google map on my mobile, right? I can see I can go from here to some other city. I can see things maybe just to guide me on the map, but in reality the road looks different. It doesn't look like how it is on your map, right? So also here, values can be shared. For example, all the negative people can share the same values, but whether they are right, whether those values are right, need not be, right? Whereas principles are not in any case negative. Principles are always based on the universal laws relating to the human dimension. So with this particular concept in our mind, if our values are based on principles, that means if principles become our values to follow, then we are secured that whatever things we are going to do, they are actually going into the right path. So there is a paradigm shift actually, which we can always achieve with the correct set of principles. I give you some examples. There are certain things in the history, if you see, like there were some astronomers from Egypt like Ptolemy, and initially many people in the world, they were believing that the earth is actually the center of the universe. But later it took some lot of pain by people like Copernicus to explain that earth is not at the center of the universe, or the known world that time. Rather sun is at the center. And then he was persecuted, he was punished because he was speaking something against the religious books. But when he believed that what he was telling was based on the facts, evidences, and the principles, he never, took back his effort. And today, the world has got a paradigm shift that everything is revolving around heliocentric theory. Similar thing is for the physics example. Classical physics versus particle physics. Newton made a lot of things. Even in modern day engineering, we are using the same Newton laws. So that's in fact even the basis for a lot of engineering principles. But there was a Albert Einstein who said that even the time is not constant. Like if we talk about particle physics, we talk about quantum theory, even time is not constant. Just because you fixed a clock and it's working like this, in the current world, in the physical world, what we see, yes, it could be constant. But if you go at the atomic level and the time travels related things, those are not proven yet. But when there is a saying that if you go at the subatomic particle levels, even time can be twisted. So yes, the scientific community has a lot to do and achieve in this aspect, but the way Einstein explained the relativity principle, and based on which even the atom bombs were done in the later decades after him. So it shows that just because the majority believes in certain thing, that may always not be the correct thing. So sometimes if you are confident enough that the principles what you are following are not correct, and you need to you realize that something as a fact and you are going to present it to the world, yes, you need to have that courage and that mindset to follow the principles, and these things will actually help you achieve more and even change the world. Similarly, we can see about the governance systems. In the past, for so many centuries, the only way was for the ruling of a kingdom is by the kings, their families. If king had a family, his son would become the next king. If there was an emperor, unless he is conquered by somebody else, the emperor would become the king. The son of the emperor would become the king. But now slowly the world has changed. The paradigm got changed. They felt that these monarchies are not helping anymore. We need to have some democracy. So people themselves will rule. People will themselves elect. So there is, all these are examples of how to think and change our viewpoint. Throw the old paradigms which are not working anymore, and in the context of the current generation, what you require. But always based on the principles, you change your paradigm and put it in the right direction. There is an example here I want to give. There is a small story here. In some navy, the people were actually doing some maritime exercises. So all the battleships went into the sea. Actually, there was some patchy fog. People were not able to see exactly what was happening. There was no visibility in the night. So there was a war captain in one particular ship, and he was telling to the signalman. He said, "Hey, signalman, you see, we are on a collision course with the other ship. So please try to signal that other particular ship to change the course by 20 degrees." So the signalman sent the message. The reply came back. They said, "It's advisable that you change your course." So then people got it. This guy who is a war captain, he got so much frustrated to say, "How come I am the war captain and the other guy is telling me to change my course?" Then he sent this again a message back saying, "I am the captain. Please change course 20 degrees." Again came the reply, "I am a seaman. Change the course by 20 degrees." Then this guy was actually jumping with anger and frustration. He again gave back a reply to them saying, "See, I am a battleship. Please change course." Then came the reply again, "I am the lighthouse." Then silence. The army captain, the war captain, and the battleship changed the course and went away. So sometimes we have that limited perception, right? We don't see the full picture. We see what we are looking at is the actual fact, and we see that we know the entire thing. But only when we get a shock like that, or when we get some experience where our perceptions are challenged or our perceptions are ruled out with proper evidence, only then we try to believe in something. So this classic example of see, the lighthouse cannot move. So when the people are saying to the war captain to change the course, he was not ready to change the course. So that is how paradigm shift actually will help us to understand that if we have the attitude to understand how to change the paradigm shift, why paradigm shift is important, it actually helps. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video.